anyone who's planning to get a student visa and study abroad is aware that they have to submit a crucial document called SOP, Statement of Purpose. Why do universities demand that particular document for application other than your educational certificates, your transcripts, or your achievements, or anything other than that? Why do they give so much of importance for this? So this particular document, SOP, will help them to choose from the pool of applications that they get. So they're mostly done in case of scholarships, if you're applying for funding, if you're applying for research, Masters by Research program, where the number of seats are capped, they play a very, very crucial role. Even otherwise, if you're aiming for like a really high rated university in Australia, in that case, this document will help you to get the admission in whichever university you are aiming at. So I'm going to be walking you through the entire steps that are involved in crafting a custom SOP that will help you to stand out from the rest of the crowd, because most of us are used to using the ready-made templates that education consultants give you, or your friend might have had like a ready-made template where you just edit your details like the university, your education, and whichever course you're applying for. So most of the people who are really serious about moving abroad for studies take this particular document very seriously, and I've been requested to do a video on this. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 4 simple steps that will help you to write a custom designed SOP that will get you the admission in the university that you want. At the end, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 tips to help to stop doing any mistakes in writing your SOP. So stick around till the end. I'm sure it'll be worth the watch. Without much delay, let's get started with today's video. So, step 1 in writing your SOP is brainstorming ideas. When I mean ideas, it is about what to write, your accomplishments. So you basically try to categorize. This is no big rocket science. You can just take a pen and a paper or a notepad and just start writing based on categories, or you can use such small sticky notes. Okay, these posties, sticky notes will definitely help you when you're writing. So you can just post them with separate titles or subheadings, and you can write the stuff that you want to include under each heading. So these sticky notes have been a lifesaver for me in many aspects of my personal life, professional life, and business. So make sure you make best use of them, or you can simply take a paper and draw columns and you can start writing. So the first thing when you brainstorm, I want you to write down your studies, because you are going to migrate as a student. So obviously, if you are from 12th standard, year 12, I want you to write the subjects under that. If you are a bachelor student, write what is the degree that you did, where did you do, what are the different subjects that you have had, which is very crucial. And also, if you've done masters, if you have work experience, write a separate column for work experience. So studies will be your first column. Second would be work experience. The third column would be your academic achievements. So if you have won any prizes, if you have been a topper, if you've been like college first, if you've been given a gold medal or anything related to academics, if you've achieved in any conferences you've presented, if you've published any research papers or articles, or even review articles, anything at the student level, whatever you've achieved, write them under academic achievements. Any non-academic achievements in case of sports, in case of music, in case of theater, anything that you've achieved which is remarkable, if you have any press releases, if you have any articles, if you have any, so whatever you're claiming has to have evidence. Okay, so that is something that you have to make sure that you have evidences that supports every statement that you're going to put here. So non-academic achievements and others, anything other than that, if you want to talk about yourself, how it matches to that particular course, you can make a note there. So these will be the 5 main categories under which I want you to make notes. So it'll be your studies, and then it'll be your work experience, it'll be your academic achievements, it'll be anything non-academic achievements and others. Anything other than that that you want to highlight, which would be a positive thing, that would come under the 5th column or the 5th sticky note called others. Okay, so that's our first and foremost step called brainstorm, where we brainstorm everything that we have. Once you write down in a pen and paper, that's when you will know you have heaps to do. So if you just sit and think about what to write, I'm sure you will not get it. So take a pen and paper, be old school. For me, laptops don't work. So I always stick with a pen and paper. So if you're that type, then you can do it. Or if you are really very high-tech project management skills, or if you want to manage with Trello and stuff like that, you're happy to do that. But I am just giving you my advice. So I would stick with sticky notes and pen and paper. So that brings us to the first step, brainstorming ideas, brainstorming your achievements, brainstorming your studies and experiences. The second step would be to prepare a roadmap. So why do I call it a roadmap? So we have to make a meaningful story out of this. So the story, when you build a story, you have to have three things in mind. The first thing, you have to always justify why you choose Australia to study, okay? And the second thing has to be why this specific university. Out of all the universities in Australia, why are you choosing this university? And the third thing would be why this particular course. Out of all the courses that you are eligible to do or you could do for your undergraduation, why you have chosen this particular course. So all of us, we as students, I've been to so many educational fairs when I was a student, and we just need an entry, we just need an admission. I agree, 90% of us are like that. But still, it'll be worth if we have some basic idea of where we are migrating to. What is the ranking of the university? What is the ranking of that particular school which we are going to study? And what courses are delivered by that particular school? And why is it interesting? So it's always good if you customize it based on your personal experience and write realistic letter of SOP stating, okay, this is why I want to do that. Now, what I want to do is in the roadmap step, so we have brainstormed each category. Under each category, I want you to write how everything is relating to Australia. Say, for example, you have done your bachelor's in information technology. I want you to just Google what is information technology sector in Australia ranked. What is the job market? What are the different courses? So just write, Australia ranks, say maybe 17th or 15th or top 10 in the world in the information technology sector, and I want to be part of this booming sector. So that is how you justify your statement by being genuine, so they know that you have done your bit of research and you are very clear with your roadmap to Australia. So your roadmap basically means from wherever you are at the moment, how are you going to reach your final destination? So we are going to create and carve a roadmap that is customized only for you. So under each of these categories, if you have a work experience, you can say how your experience, whatever you've gained in your internship, in your industrial visits, everything, they are transferable skills. So there are some real keywords that you can use, and that is there in my other video where I've spoken about how to get jobs in Australia, how to write a killer resume. So check out those videos to find out the exact killer words, some real captivating words, catchy phrases that Australians use, and they like it to be used in your SOP. So check out my other videos and know them so that you can make use of them. So things like transferable skills. I've got this work experience in this particular sector. If you're working in telecommunications and if you want to apply for masters in IT, you can say that experience is a transferable skill which can be applied in my masters in information technology. It's about you crafting the right story. So in the second step called creating a roadmap, we are going to loop each of our brainstorming ideas to three things: why this country, why this university, and why this course. Now this will give us a very clear picture. Imagine like a chart paper, okay? You just have a chart, you have different post-it notes, written everything, whatever is your current skills, your current experience, and then you draw, okay, how is it related to Australia? How is it related to this uni? What is the university ranking? What is the speciality of the university? What is the speciality of the city where this university is located? You can write your stories in a very, very impressive way, okay? I know story writing, storytelling is not a cup of tea for everyone, but I'm going to tell you how to refine that in the next step. Now, moving on to step number 3 is our writing. So now we have everything ready. So it's all bits and pieces. Now get it into a flow. Okay, so start with one aspect like academic background, work experiences, and then you can write about your achievements. You can write about your passion and how you kind of marry your passion, your existing skill set, and you aim to do this particular course, and what is the final outcome that you're expecting out of it. So they know you're very clear. You're just not looking at an admission in a university. You are clear with what you want to do with that particular degree. Okay, so that is the very, very crucial step to identify a unique SOP. All right, so third is just drafting it, writing it in a meaningful format. You can just use Microsoft Word and start doing it, and so that becomes your rough draft. So this is not your final draft. If you're not good at it, it's okay. So the third step would be to write your rough draft, put all your brainstorming ideas and your roadmap into a particular format of a draft. Next comes the fourth important step, is to revise, okay, edit and finalize. Now, if you're going to revise it, you're not going to find any mistakes. So it's always better to have another fresh pair of eyes looking at the document that you have written. So it is better if you give it to if you're a current student, you can give it to your HOD, your staff member whom you trust, or you might have friends and family who are already in Australia or any other country who have migrated as a student or as a skilled worker. They could give you some inputs. Make sure they are positive people who are not going to really give you some negative advice, negative vibes, and ruin your confidence. So make sure you get some positive vibes. If you get negativity from some people, just ignore them, move on to the next one. Don't lose heart. Everybody's story is different in case of migration. So don't think my friend didn't get the admission, so I'm not going to get it. Everybody's case is very, very unique. So do not compare in terms of migration. This is what I tell everybody. Okay, so the revision has to be, need not be someone who has already migrated. It could be as simple as checking your grammar. As a third person, if they read the draft, are they getting the actual essence of what you're trying to convey? So it has to be meaningful. It has to have the flow of information, and basically editing the grammar. You can use Grammarly, which is free, to edit grammars, punctuations, and just the basic outlook, visually appealing SOP. Okay, so that brings us to the last tip to craft your SOP. So the very first thing, like I said, do not, never, whatever word I have to say here, do not use ready-made templates. Never use cut, copy, paste from others' document just for a document. Don't think it's just like a checklist. You have to give it and you can just copy and paste, edit with your details and give. It is not going to get you an admission in the university you want if you're serious about it. If you're just a person, if you're looking at some normal institute or a college to get admission, probably you're going to get it. There's no harm in it. But this is for people who are really serious about scholarships, who are looking at some top universities. If the admissions are capped, if it's competitive, how do you break that competition and get your admission? So the first step, no plagiarism, no copying, no cut, copy, paste, and no ready-made templates. And the second tip is do not overpromise, okay? Do not fake. Do not give something that you can't evidence. Like I said, everything that you give there has to be evidence. If I'm going to say I have a publication in an Elsevier journal or any index journal, you need to be able to provide a copy of your publication, or if it's accepted in press, at least the email communication from the editor or the journal saying that your article has been accepted. So anything without an evidence, please do not put it. If you still have something, you've lost it, be genuine and say them, I do not have a copy, but I'm not sure how much it's going to be taken. But that is a very, very important tip. What many people do is they just write something because they just feel they can craft a story. So it has to be a realistic, true story that you can provide evidence. Now, the third thing is use a professional style of writing. Many people think when the moment they come here, that's how they guide people. Like, you can just be casual. You can be casual, but not at this stage. Okay, they use words like mate. They use words very casual, even a very, very casual tone in the email, in the SOP. that is not advisable in this case. So it is, a deciding letter that will decide your admission. I would strongly say use a professional style of writing in terms of how the document is drafted. Don't give like borders with Apple. I've seen a recommendation letter like that with borders of Apple in Microsoft Word, and I was like, no, this is not acceptable. So professional style, I mean the words that you use, the style that you use to communicate, and also just the visual appeal of the draft has to be professional. And the next important tip, very important tip in fact, is to follow the university guidelines. Every university has its guidelines in terms of the word count, what is the number of words that are allowed. It has their own style. If they want it in PDF, make sure you submit it in PDF. So you can't have basic eligibility issues. That's it. So make sure the document that you give is eligible. It does not have anything that, if they say 1,000 words, stick to 1,000 words, and just be sticking to the university guidelines and do not violate them with eligibility issues. And the last but most important tip is be authentic and realistic. If you had a challenge, if you had a failure, if you had an area, make sure you mention that, okay, because of my health issues, because of some emotional issues, because of personal issues, I could not clear that subject in that semester. However, I somehow coped up and managed to clear it in the next semester. So whatever, even if you had failure, if you had some challenge, make sure you mention it and say them why, give a reason and how you overcome it. That could be a positive sign. So the way you word it has to be positive. The way you word it has to convey the message the way you want to convey. Okay, I think I have really covered the SOP document in greater detail. If you like such realistic visa, immigration and lifestyle information, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn the notifications on to be instantly notified of my new videos. Okay, so I'll see you all in the next video.